evening, good afternoon, good night, and good morning. Thank you for tuning in to RETV News Break. I'm Tyren.
And Nicole with your weekly RETV News Break. Every week, Ty and I bring you news, trends, and more with a positive spin. For our first story, he's at it again. Billionaire Robert F. Smith just announced $1.8 million in microgrants for HBCU students, Essence reports. Smith has been working overtime to ensure he does all he can to create generational wealth for students of color. In 2019, he paid off the student loan debt for the entire graduating class of Morehouse College, eventually extending the debt payoff to the students' parents as well. Then in 2020, Smith donated $50 million to his Student Freedom Initiative to support STEM students. The organization is a public charity dedicated to ensuring freedom in career and life choices for students attending minority-serving institutions. But he didn't stop there. Year by year, finding new ways to create even more access and opportunities for students in need, in 2021, Smith launched the One Stock, One Future initiative, aimed at creating 1 million Black and Latina youth, shareholders, and investors. He then gifted students and staff and faculty members from New York, New Jersey's Eagle Academic College Prep Network with a total of 15,000 shares of stock. Namely the 2019 Morehouse grads whose debt he paid off as partners in the gift. Now Smith has announced another generous endeavor, launching a $1.8 million grant program geared towards HBCU students. Smith's Student Freedom Initiative has partnered with Prudential Financial to provide $1.8 million in microgrants to HBCU students through the Handling Everyday Life Problems for Students, also known as HELPS, program. The goal of the program is to address the financial need for students that may not necessarily be academic related, providing one-time funds for expenses disproportionately faced by Black students. And I quote, "Over 75% of students at HBCUs are considered low income, relying on Pell Grants to meet their college expenses. However, for many of these students, these grants are not enough. During recent on-site visits at multiple HBCUs, we learned from executive leadership and student focus groups that many of our students are unable to overcome financial challenges for expenses that are not directly related to the cost of college. These expenses left unaddressed can derail their college plans," end quote, explained Mark A. Brown, Executive Director of the Student Freedom Initiative. Some of these challenges include home life challenges, including many students feeling personally responsible for the negative impacts of debt accrued by their parents who took out Parent Plus loans for their education. Couple that with the lack of financial literacy and the complex promissory notes that keep students in long-term debt long into adulthood, and you have a recipe for disaster. It is the goal of the HELPS program to fill in those financial gaps so students don't have to choose between their education and their financial well-being. In addition to the microgrants, Prudential will also offer paid internships and pro bono services for HBCU students and families that help promote improved financial literacy. All of it is a part of Prudential and the Student Freedom Initiative's commitment to closing the racial wealth gap. At Prudential, we've spent decades working to close the financial divide, in part through partnerships that address systemic barriers to economic, social, and racial equality. As part of our multi-pronged strategy to support HBCUs, our partnership with Student Freedom Initiative will help us scale solutions so that more Black students will remain in college and ultimately graduate, putting them on a path to financial security, said Sarah Keth, VP of Inclusive Solutions at Prudential Financial. Smith, who serves as chairman of the Student Freedom Initiative, spoke about the importance of the new HELPS program, saying, and I quote, "Student Freedom Initiative applauds the leadership of Prudential Financial and their support for our shared mission of eliminating barriers of access for underserved communities. By enabling the launch of the HELPS program, a vital component of our work to address the holistic needs of HBCU students and families, Prudential's gift will provide long-needed and often overlooked aid and support persistent of those most vulnerable in our community, end quote. Students can apply for the HELPS program beginning spring semester 2022.
Wow.
That is brilliant, for one.
I'm jealous. And the reason I'm jealous is because, one, I didn't realize that says 75% of students that usually attend HBCUs are, I guess, considered low income. I must have been one because I sure as heck needed that financial aid, and to be honest with you, did not fully complete my undergraduate degree because of not having the full financial backing to do so from either myself or from my parents and so forth. And I still had a bunch of student loan debt. So yeah, it's like, for him to do this, I know he's not the only one, but I know he primarily started this, like you said, with the graduates of Morehouse. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know he extended it to their families as well.
I didn't either until, doing the research on this story. So even their parents, the PLUS loans, they were forgiven. Or not forgiven, but paid for by him.
Yeah. That and then on top of that, to then come back a few years later, give more money, and then also gift shares and stocks to those he originally paid. I'm in the wrong bit. First of all.
But that's the kingdom principle of giving, and it will be given back to you.
Yeah.
So because he has, garnered so much, and thank for him for his dedication and commitment and, increasing his financial literacy and knowing truly how the game works to gain wealth, but then to look back and pick up those who are behind him to say, if I can do it, so can you, and I'm going to give you the level up that potentially he didn't have. That's how it's supposed to work.
That is how it's supposed to work. Unfortunately, there are quite a few of those who have the money where it doesn't work that way for them. But then there are quite a few. I know from my understanding there is like this billionaire club where they do give out money, on a regular basis, as part of their charitable giving or whatever.
And it's also tax-free for them.
Yeah, I was about to say, but it's tax-free. They write that bad boy off
significantly.
Exactly. They write that bad. I mean, congratulations to all of those who he supports. It has paid, their financial student loan debt and given these stock options, as well as, kudos to Prudential as they've partnered with him in this. Yeah. Again, I wish I could have been the recipient of this. Fortunately, we do have kids that are of age. Hopefully, at some point in time, they can be the recipient of something like this, or of someone else who is doing, this charitable giving to HBCUs or to colleges and so on and so forth.
So I encourage all minority students, to please apply to the HELPS program, being that it's opening up. Now, you might as well say spring is here. So take advantage if you can, because you never know. It just might help you out as well as your parents.
For sure. Now, in our next story, a black woman is now a majority owner of a new multi-million-dollar film and television studio in Atlanta, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports. Tammy Williams has over 25 years of experience in film and television industry. She has written and produced a plethora of projects such as films, biographies, documentaries, entertainment, and network news, according to her biography on IMDb. Williams owned her first digital production company called Tammy Dele Film in 2016 and is now the first black woman to own a $135 million studio and post-production facility space in Atlanta, Georgia. Williams and her business partner, Gary Guidry, an investor and CEO of G Squared Events and Black Promoters Collective, founded Cinema South Studios. We've been patient, she said. This has not been an overnight thing. The vision for us, Williams has worked towards making her dream a reality for 12 years. They will begin to break ground in March for Cinema South Studios, located north of Fayette County. The studio will occupy 60 acres and intends to have 11 sound stages, a backlot, a prop house, a wardrobe rental facility, and a lighting grip rental house. The production facility will include a transportation company and an office building to house the theater and post-production facilities, reports the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Williams aims to have 2 sound stages operable by the first quarter of 2023. I quote, "The demand of sound stages is happening globally, and the ownership rarely looks like us, let alone an African-American woman," said Gauchi in an official release, reports AJC. "When I choose to invest, I evaluate the need of business and the ownership. Investing in Tammy Williams and her team of professionals convinced me of buying the land in Fayetteville, Georgia." Cinema South will serve as the umbrella for Williams' production company, Tammy DeLay Films. It will host the education section of Tammy DeLay Films workshops in Cinema South Film Academy, where she will conduct her job training seminars. Currently, Tyler Perry Studios in Georgia is the largest film production studios in the United States and established Perry as the first African American to outright own a major film production studio.
All right, Miss Williams.
Doing it.
Yes, that's wonderful. I can't even imagine, like 60 acres of land and all of that, production.
Equipment, and first of all,
that's your wheelhouse. That's like your love.
It was pretty dope when Tyler Perry did it. And not to take anything away from what Tyler Perry did, but he cheated. He took an old Air Force base.
That's not cheating. That's being economical.
It is. It is being economical and efficient. But she's building this thing they're breaking ground. And I know there was a lot of, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Tyler Perry. Kudos to him for what he's done in the Atlanta area. I, would definitely am interested in visiting and being a part of what he has going on down there, in addition to what Miss Tammy Williams is doing. But he just converted some buildings and built up some more buildings.
I wouldn't say just converted, because that land was sacred ground, being that it was, if I believe correctly, old plantation grounds as well.
Okay.
Before it was a...
Okay. So again, I'm not taking away from anything that Tyler Perry has done. Because what he has done, having the largest in the United States film studios in Atlanta, Georgia, kudos to you, Mr. Perry, and all that you do, and especially all of your shows and all of your movies, especially considering you started out doing all your plays and your musicals and so forth that I have seen several of myself. But I'm just super excited for what Tammy Williams is doing down there in the Atlanta area, right outside Atlanta, and building up this 60-acre, multi-million-dollar studio and educational center, because she's not just doing film and televisions and all that good stuff, but she's using it as an educational center. And I know Tyler Perry's done the same. Well, he has educational property there and hotel space and all of the things that that they've done to not just built businesses and jobs for those, but have built up the surrounding areas as well of the Atlanta area to just continue to boost the economy there, continue to build jobs, continue to, they say it's Hollywood South or Hollywood East is now Atlanta. I'm definitely excited for what they're doing. Definitely, at some point in time, hopefully Relationship Entertainment Television, RETV, can be a part of that, if not have their own studio space as well. Kudos to you, Tammy, and all that you're doing and the business partners that you've partnered with to build this. I definitely am looking forward to seeing all the projects that come out of this space.
Slow and steady wins the race. 12 years in the making with her 25 years of experience. Thank you for your consistency and not giving up.
Yeah, for sure. That, that goes to show as well that businesses, I know a lot of entrepreneurs expect, especially with the whole, the big quitting thing that everyone did, this past couple years, the great resignation, so forth, and started their own businesses. Please don't get discouraged when you're out there, starting your businesses. And sometimes it takes time. As Tammy just showed, 12 years that she's really been working on this. Now she actually has $135 million studios in the works. So 12 years it's taken for her to get here. And I'm sure it's been a lot of hard work in order to do so.
Definitely.
So kudos to you, and continue to pursue what your passion and your dreams are if you're an entrepreneur as well.
For our next story, he's behind all the magic. Disney honored Imagineer Lenny Smoot, the owner of more than 100 patents, the most of any Disney employee. According to Disney Parks, Smoot has been with the company for more than 2 decades. His passion for creating and inventions inspired by his father. Quote, growing up, our family did not have a lot of money. My dad was a bit of a jack of all trades and taught himself how to make many mechanical gadgets, including several of my early toys. One of my earliest childhood memories was him bringing home an electric bell, a light bulb, some batteries, and wire. He set up the bell to ring and the bulb to light, and that light lit my career, Smoot recalled. That career would eventually land Smoot at Walt Disney Imagineering, better known as WDI, working in technology and research. Now as a Disney Research Fellow, Smoot has reached the pinnacle of technical research and achievement at WDI, leading the research and development team to create new, innovative technology that allows for magical experiences for Disney guests. My mindset is to create things that are fun, entertaining, often surprising, and hopefully a bit ahead of their time. At Disney, I can work on cutting-edge technologies that are designed to make people happy. What's not to like, said Smoot. Smoot and his team are always drumming up new technology, thinking outside the box to create things that can't be seen anywhere else in the world. Not only does Smoot work on technology for Disney parks, but also for their cruise ships and other Disney brand offerings. The team goes back and forth creating, choosing, and best of their design technology to roll out. Recently, Disney Parks celebrated with Smoot as he received his 100th patent from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Smoot totaling 102 patents to date, the most of any employee in Walt Disney Company history. Quote, we're constantly inventing and constantly trying to live up to Walt's dream that our work will never be done as long as we have guests to entertain, Smoot said. The inventor also lends himself to work around advocacy for STEAM, education, and opportunities for students of color. Recently, Smoot served as a judge for an innovative challenge sponsored by Disney on the Yard for HBCUs. He says that diversity in the fields of science and technology are critical to the evolution of the field and the creation of future inventors. Quote, we need to give young students, especially Black students and people of color, experience in these fields. The Walt Disney Company is digging deeply into this by making sure that we mentor diverse young people, and I've done that many times, sharing my technology background with people who are interested in doing technology but may not have in the past had the exposure that they needed, Smoot explained. Disney Parks is highlighting and celebrating the contributions of their Black creators, cast members, fans, and guests during Black History Month.
That's pretty dope.
I've never heard of him, and to think of all the times that I've been on a Disney property, never knew that there was a Black inventor who has over 100 patents.
Who now has over 100 patents to
Disney.
date, 102 to current date. I mean, if you think of all the technology that goes on behind the scenes that makes Disney, and to know that, because we didn't know initially, that there's a Black man that's been with Disney for over 20 years, right, creating and coming up with so many ideas for, I don't want to throw out what he's done because I really don't know, but I'm sure it's the animatronics and the changing of sceneries and stuff that Disney is all known for, that's supposedly so magical,
and futuristic.
Yeah, futuristic. That's pretty dope for him to actually be behind a lot of this stuff. Like, it gives you a different appreciation for all that goes on behind the walls of Disney, and it's pretty dope.
It really does.
I'm excited to actually go back to Disney sometime soon, just to take a look at all of what he's done, or just imagine or guess what he's done. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research to find out exactly what a lot of his patents are revolve around or are in, just so I can know. So when I go, I can be like, oh, I know who built that. Oh, I know who designed that.
Exactly.
I know who came up with that concept and idea. And I'm pretty sure, like a lot of inventors, while you may have patents, not all of them, are built and put to fruition, but I'm pretty sure he has quite a few that are, like you said, that you can walk around the properties on the cruise ships and so forth, and actually see what he's doing. That's pretty dope.
Awesome.
Yeah,
thank you, Mr. Lenny Smoot.
Definitely. In our final story, the Wendy Williams show confirmed yesterday that after 14 seasons, the show is officially coming to a close. Show distributor Debmar Mercury announced Tuesday morning that longtime guest host Sherri Shepherd, who has been stepping in for Williams' stead for months, will take over for the remainder of the season and will also headline her own syndicated talk show starting this fall. The current season faced several delays at its beginning, with the rotating cast of guest hosts filling in as producers awaiting Williams' return. Rumors had long been swirling that Shepherd will replace Williams since her health issues have persisted, keeping her from returning to her beloved purple chair for any part of the season 14. I quote, "This is a bittersweet moment for us and our partners at Fox," said Debmar Mercury co-presidents Mort Marcus and Ira Bernstein in a statement. "We all have a great love and affinity for Wendy, who grew into a true icon during her 12 incredible seasons as the solo host and of a live daily talk show dishing out hot topics and interviewing celebrities." I quote, "Since Wendy is still not available to host the show as she continues her road to recovery, we believe it is best for our fans, stations, and advertising partners to start making this transition now. We hope to be able to work with Wendy again in the future and continue to wish her a speedy and full recovery." Shepherd shared in her excitement over finally getting her own daytime talk show, an achievement which she shared has always been a goal and dream of hers long before she got her chair on The View. While sharing this happy news with Wendy Williams show fans, she paid respect to Williams and the many achievements she's made over the 13 years of hosting her now iconic talk show, her iconic Talk Hot Topic segment. I quote, "Nobody can do this format but Wendy. Nobody can sit in this purple chair and sip tea like Wendy Williams can," Shepherd said. "You do not understand how hard it is to do 13 years of sitting in a chair and talking hot topics. Wendy's unique brand of shade and her shoe cam, and for the diehard fans, remember the bubblegum wall. Wendy Williams created a unique brand that folks are always going to talk about and love. I am so excited for you to go on this Sherri show journey with me this September."
Congratulations, Sherri Shepherd.
You sound like you a Sherri Shepherd fan.
I am, but that goes to show that, your dreams can come about in any shape, form, and to know that this is probably not the road she thought that her dreams will manifest, but at the end of the day, she has her show that's coming in the fall.
I would say, and once again, somebody who has put in the time and put in the talent and put in the work. A lot of us tend to think that things happen overnight for our businesses and our careers and all these things. But, if you continue to be consistent, continue to put in that hard work and that dedication that Sherri Shepherd has put in, it's paying off for her. Like I said, she's a lot of people don't know that she's actually a comedian. They remember her from being on The View, and she has her podcast, and she's been on quite a few. I think she's on Dish Nation.
Okay.
Sherri Shepherd has done she has a whole resume of stuff that she's actually done. And for her to say that she's been wanting her own talk show for all these years, and now she's finally having the opportunity to get it after filling in for Wendy Williams pretty much for this past year. Congratulations to you, Sherri Shepherd. Of course, we wish, Godspeed and a quick recovery to Wendy Williams as she goes through what she has. I think she has Graves' disease.
Okay.
So Godspeed to Wendy Williams as she goes through her recovery and so forth. I'm not sure exactly what Graves' disease entails. I think I know one or two people who actually have it themselves.
I just know it's an autoimmune disease.
Yeah. So, hope she continues to get better, but definitely a congratulations to Sherri Shepherd as she continues to enhance her career and take it to the next level with having her own talk show coming this September of 2022. That is super dope. Super dope. I'm saying personally, I am a fan of Sherri Shepherd.
And she just seems to be a natural. I've seen her, 1 or 2 times on the show. And I just love her charisma. I love her aura. she just brings all things positive, but also real.
Yeah. Oh, Sherri Shepherd is real. She holds no cut cards when it comes to telling you how she feels, especially if you are a celebrity in which she has a crush on. Oh, it's all said and done. Yeah, it is a wrap. So, again, congratulations to you, Sherri Shepherd, and I know you will make the Sherri Show your own in your own fashion, and you'll have several years, many years of that show as well, just as Wendy Williams has. So congratulations to you, Sherri. We thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of RETV News Break.
Be sure to subscribe to the RETV YouTube channel and Facebook pages for more great news and shows.
Also, don't forget to download the Relationship Entertainment Television, better known as RETV, Roku channel for anybody who has a Roku. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on RETV. Until then, be blessed and be great.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week, because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?
Well, they do that, cause we do that though. I see you talking, so we gon' take it though. And yeah, talking cheap, so don't do that though. My click 100 deep.
Growing up in the church, we saw a lot. Things that people refuse to talk about. The elephants in the room. Mental illness, sexual abuse, broken families, domestic violence, and so much more. The Big E, The Elephant in the Room, is a show that sheds light on these topics. We're here to speak about the unspeakable.